What we're going to have a look at is the i-Life, which is you could call it a kickboard heater turned upright. You could call it a fan coil unit. We could call it a fan assisted radiator. What we're looking at is a coil with a fan with its own little controller on top. So it's a way of doing forced convection as far as heating goes. It's very good for working with heat pumps because we can work at lower flow temperatures. So these units will work from anything with a flow temperature of 35 degrees or above. So what we're going to do next is we're going to go through unboxing, mounting, installing, and then a little bit on the controls. So we've got instruction books along with some bracketry and some other components there for doing the pipe work. So using the template, we can offer that up. We'll work about where we're going to be on the floor, where the pipe connections are going to be, and just showing you there where the actual mounting points are going to be for the actual brackets for holding the i-Life in place. So obviously we mark through onto the wall and screwing as required. What we're going to do next is just take some of that covering off to make our lives nice and easy. So front cover off, take the filter out, and then we can get to a couple of screws in here. So looking at the stripped down unit, we've got fan assembly here, you've got your coil here, you've got connections for your flow and return there, and the drain off points there as well, obviously letting the air out and draining the water out as required. Top there you can see the louvers, which are going to open up as the unit starts doing some work. So you can see here where we've got the actual unit mounted on the wall, on a set of brackets. We've also got sort of extra screws in there just to hold it all in place, make sure it's not going to get lifted off the wall. You can see there the water connections brought in. So on the pipe sizing, we recommend either 15 or 22mm pipe work. Obviously that's going to be down to your design though. And the connections on the unit are Eurocanos 3/4. So there's a standard fitting there, but you can see there's other optional fittings that we tend to use in the UK. Don't need to obviously bring them out as quite as large and wide as I have, shall we say, down here. I've done that for show because we're in a training room. And you can see here I've got isolator, and I've fed that cable across and up to run power into the box, which I'll show you now. So you can see here where I pulled that green connection off. So that goes onto the board, and you just see on the back of that, I've got my neutral and live, and then the earth goes straight onto the board itself. And that simply plugs in to the actual board itself, just to make it a bit easier to wire into place. And that's the power supply dealt with. Just make sure we bled any air out of the actual system. So you can see a bleed point. Just letting the last bits of air out there. The water's coming through nice and clear. So now we've got the covers back on. Just make sure the screws are all done up. So it's only held in place with 2 screws at the bottom. If you put power on it at the moment in time, it won't actually do anything yet, because until it sees the filters in place and that the cover's back on, it won't bring the unit on. Okay, so we've got a safety switch built into this so the unit can't run without having these safeties in place. So now I've got that in place, press the on button, switch the unit on, and then we've got an option here of what temperature you want to set the unit for. We've got an option on the fan speed, so I can set it to auto, where it looks at what the actual room temperature is and it will adjust the fan speed to suit. Or I can take control of it, so it's low fan speed. high fan speed, and then we've got an option for night where it just quietly trickles the air over. And when you're done with it, you want to, by all means, switch it off when you don't need it.